See all the little bits of seasoning in there? Ow! They're super hot. Now we're doing this under $10, and that's absolutely where we want to be today. Sometimes we're able to do this under $5, but today we just didn't make it. Okay, first thing you're gonna need is some tongs and your can of green beans, which is about 50 cents at Walmart, and your zesty herb marinade mix. Now we're not gonna marinate this. As you've seen in prior videos, I actually like to use this as a rub, and it's amazing. That's $1. And we're gonna use a north side. This is red beans and rice. This is also $1. And here are our pork chops. Now our pork chops, we have almost 2.5 pounds of pork chops here, and they are $4.05. So $4.05 for 2.5 pounds of pork chops. This is going to be enough to feed, I believe, a family of 4, maybe a family of 3. I have to open it up and see how many there are in here. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we want to do first is make sure we always wash our meat. Make sure there's no loose bones, contaminants, anything like that on our meat. So we just want to give it a nice, good rinse. It doesn't have to be high pressure. We just want to make sure that everything is off of the pork chops. Any bones or anything like that. I'm just gonna place that in the bowl here. Now we'll see how many we have here in a minute once we get down here. This is a nice looking pork chop, folks. Nice looking pork chop. All right. So it looks like we do have 4. That is excellent. So we're cooking here tonight for a family of 4 for under $10. That is amazing. It is actually not very easy to do, but we are doing it today. And that's what we're gonna do on this channel. We're gonna cook on a budget, and we're gonna cook quickly. That's another thing. We need to cook quickly because we don't have all night to cook food, right? We really don't. So we have 4 beautiful pork chops, bone-in pork chops for $5. Not even $5, $4.05. Okay, so let's go ahead and pat these dry, and we will get started with the seasoning. The cool thing about this is pork chops don't take very long to cook. All you have to do is get them on the grill and get them up to temperature. Now that doesn't take very long. We're not smoking them. We are actually going to be grilling them. So doesn't take long. If you've never done this before, I'm gonna walk you through it so nobody is left out in the cold and nobody is left hungry. Okay, so now we pat our pork chops dry and they're looking very good. What we're gonna do is take the seasoning and we are gonna put it on the pork chops. After I remove these gloves here. You see how easy that was? I just removed the gloves. I didn't have to wash my hands or anything. Now, it is good to wash your hands, but I don't need to wash my hands because I already washed them. And then I put the gloves on. So, here is our seasoning here, right? Now, before that, we're gonna put a little oil on these pork chops. It actually calls for a little oil here, 3 teaspoons of oil, but that's if you're making a marinade. But we still put a little oil on these just so we have a better surface for the marinade to stick to, or in this case, a dry rub to stick to. Now we're gonna use a little avocado oil here. Avocado oil is great. It is a keto-friendly oil that is used by a lot of folks in the keto world. I'm not doing keto, but this is something that is great if you are doing keto, and it will definitely not make your meat taste funny just because you're putting avocado on your meat. There are some oils that make your meat taste funny when you use it on meat, and that's no bueno. Was I just speaking Spanish? I don't even speak Spanish. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and put this zesty herb on here. Now, we're just gonna do a liberal coating. And we try to coat one side. Rub it in real good and massage it. If the meat feels good, Everything else feels good. It's gonna taste good. Meat's gotta feel good. Should be nice and grainy. You feel it? No smooth spots, nice and grainy. The meat feels good. All right, on to the next one. Nice marbling in there. It's got a little fat to it. It's perfect. It's gonna taste amazing. I'm telling you, this is a cheat. This little cheat code that I call it, it's a cheat code, or what some of the kids are calling a mod with their little games, Among Us and all that other stuff. It's a mod. Well, this is a mod with cooking, right? You see that? There's no reason that this has to sit on here for, you know, an hour, 3 hours or whatever when it comes to marinating. We're gonna use this as a rub, and it is amazing. Now, this isn't something that they tell you on the package, but let me tell you, it makes your food taste great in a very, very short period of time. All right, that smells amazing, folks. Let me tell you, it smells like a restaurant right now. We're just gonna wait for the grill to heat up. Let's go check the temperature and see what we have. Really, we want the grill temperature to be between 350 and 450 degrees. Now, the internal temperature is what's really important. We want the internal temperature to be about 145 degrees when done. Now, 145 degrees, you say? Yes, that's actually the current revised internal temperature by the federal government. So what happens is at 145 degrees, you're gonna have a carryover, and that carryover could bring you all the way up to 160 degrees or so. So cook it to 145 degrees, let it sit 2 or 3 minutes, and then you'll be up to 155, 160 degrees, and that is good enough to eat. You just let it sit on the counter, or you can wrap it in foil and go from there. If you get home from work, you don't wanna wait all night to eat, so doing things at the same time makes things a whole lot easier. Okay, so we have this. It's got simple instructions. You throw some water in there. You might have to throw some oil in there depending on which north side you use. And you throw it in the microwave, which we are gonna do because it's much faster. And we'll be off and running. Now, we're gonna leave that here for now, and we're not gonna start it until we get closer to the meat being done. When we get to somewhere around that rest time, or close to, let's say 130 degrees, then we will take this and put this in the microwave, and we'll meet them at the end together. Perfect timing. Okay, we can see our grill temperature is right at 400 degrees. I don't want to be out here all day, so I decided to hit 400 instead of 350 or 375. All right, so grill's open. Now what we need to do is make sure that we evenly distribute the meat on the grill surface. So we're just gonna go ahead here and just spread them around. Now you hear that nice sizzle. It's gonna be awesome. These are gonna taste amazing. Listen to that, folks. All right, so now what we're gonna do is put this last one right back here. Now, what we wanna do is, the grill turned back on, is what we wanna do is we wanna put the meat thermometer in one of these pieces of meat in the thickest part, right? So grab the meat thermometer, stick it on in like that, and we're gonna leave it in there, close it, and let it cook. Now, you always wanna use a meat thermometer. I know some people wanna eyeball it when they're cooking. Eyeballing it is not good with something like pork or chicken or something like that. You can eyeball beef if you want, but still, one of the best ways to make sure you have a meat that's cooked all the way through is using a meat thermometer. Now, you can always use a built-in meat thermometer like I'm using, or you can use a meat thermometer that is modular, something separate that you buy and just stick in there and you can remove and take inside. Either way it will work. They have really fancy ones with Bluetooth and all that, but a regular meat thermometer will do. Little cheap ones, little stick ones with the little analog dial on it, that will work just fine. But any way that you can monitor the meat to make sure you don't over or undercook it is the way to go. All right, looking good. Get your tongs, take out your meat thermometer, and we're gonna do a one flip. Boom, look at that. Flip that one time, okay? All right, so now we flip. We're gonna go ahead and put the meat thermometer back in. You could pick any piece of meat you want, but put it in the thickest part. And just let it roll. Oh yeah, baby, they're looking great. All right, let me go ahead and check this one out. We are right at 145 degrees. So what we're gonna do is pull this one off of here. And go ahead and pull this one off. And take that out of there. Now what we're gonna do is let them rest. So we're gonna pull them and wrap them up in foil and let them rest here. And these pellet grills are actually pretty awesome. They will allow you to operate like a stove, so you can just turn it on, get all the way back to 150 degrees, turn the fan on, and it cools itself off. And we're gonna wrap these up and let them rest for 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes maybe, and then we'll see what they look like. All right, we got the meat resting here, and we have the water and our butter in our red beans and rice, and we're gonna put them in the microwave for 12 minutes. There we go. Some little garlic powder on here. Oh yeah, baby. And we're gonna microwave it for about 1 minute. This is the trick, folks. If you wanna make things good, all you gotta do is add a little sprinkle of this, a little sprinkle of that. It's really easy. It's not hard. You can feed your families on a budget. You can make YouTube videos of it, and it's great. It's actually not too bad. Look at those yummy, yummy, yummy pork chops there. Okay, so of course, we eat just regular, real life, right? So we're gonna use paper plates because that's what we would use. We don't wanna have these nice fancy dishes that we have to wash all the time, especially if you have tight spaces. So take one pork chop. Holy moly, they are still really, really hot. So you have to be careful of that. And we're just gonna go ahead and, I mean, look how good they look. Look at that. Look how good they look. They are amazing pieces of meat. They smell awesome. You see all the seasoning? See all the little bits of seasoning in there? Ow! They're super hot. Some green beans. And that is also really hot, so be careful. Of course, everything's hot when you're cooking. A lot of people just forget, like myself. All right, so here we have a grilled pork chop, red beans and rice, and green beans. And this is our meal for the day, folks, and it was really inexpensive. There are 4 pork chops, and there's enough green beans, and there's enough rice here to feed a family of 4 on a budget. Now, what we have is pork chops for $4, green beans were 50 cents, and the north side bag was $1. Now, that could be red beans and rice, and there's 100 other different options that they have, but I like the red beans and rice and some others that you'll see in subsequent videos. But this meal here is enough to feed a family of 4 for less than $10. It is about $6. It's $5.50 plus tax. It's gonna be $6 and some change. But for $6 and some change, this is what we have. And I'm assuming that everybody has a grill. If you don't, grills are pretty cheap. You can get them for $20 to $25 at your big box store, or you can get them even cheaper online. And check this out. This right here is Melinda's green sauce. It is amazing. You don't have to do this. Do what you want, but I like to put a little Melinda's green sauce on here, and it just adds an extra little kick to it. And it's not very hot. You see the little red thing? It's not very hot, but it adds amazing flavor. How's that for real life cooking? Family of 4 meal on a budget. If you found any value in this video, like and subscribe because the next one's gonna be even better. See you next time.